Mike.
Listen. Okay. You can give me the mic also straight in case.
Yeah.
And that is also.
You just want this mic?
Any, this is
outside
also
of,
fine.
No, without the stand?
Fine.
This is
Both.
Okay.
Okay. You have to make it tight from here.
Yeah, this will tighten this part.
Yeah.
That's
So that it won't fall down.
Yeah, this is this tight.
Okay. ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावतीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. So, in case there are any questions, this session is meant for that. You had question, no? Yeah.
So, one question has always bothered me. We know that soul is immortal, so we are reborn with the karmas we do in this life.
Not in this life, in the past.
In the past.
This life too, plus the past lives also.
And then we will carry it in our next life, what we do in this life. So what bothers me is the population is growing. Where is all those souls? They're all sitting in, and where are they coming from?
Who?
So the population is growing, right? So,
where is the Atma coming from?
Where is the Atma?
Atma is actually not going anywhere. What is coming and going is subtle body. Subtle body means Sukshma Sharira. That comes and goes, not Atma. Atma has no birth, no death, no mobility, no coming, no going, nothing at all. It is Achalaha, unmoving, everywhere, consciousness, most subtle. You cannot even visualize it, let alone think about it. I mean, mind cannot visualize it. So there is no coming and going of the Atma. Coming and going is of subtle body. When what we call birth is nothing but subtle body entering the gross body. And what we call death is nothing but subtle body departing. And why, when the karmas fructify, there are so many karmas. In one's account, there are so many karmas, endless karmas are there, of past many lives, countless lives. So whichever karmas are predominant, whichever desires are prominent, and whichever karmas are prominent, according to that, the birth happens. Ishvara manages all this. There cannot be anything, we cannot say, this is the reason why I am born. There may be many, many karmas. Out of that, Ishvara chooses some karma, keeping in mind my desires and all that. And they become manifest. So, accordingly, you get the birth. And then the subtle body enters whichever embodiment Ishvara gives you. It can be the embodiment of a human being. It can be the embodiment of other beings too. There are thousands and thousands, countless species also. In any of that, you can get birth. Again, when you depart, then here also, we cannot say for sure that, and with guarantee, that immediately I will be reborn. Not necessary. It's quite possible that you may be in some other form somewhere. But subtle body is there until there is liberation. And what is liberation or moksha? Nothing but coming to know yourself, Atma. When you come to know yourself, then you find fulfillment, happiness, peace. Then no desires are left. No karmas are left. Knowledge brings an end to all the karmas. Karmas get burnt of countless past lives in the knowledge, in the fire of knowledge. All the karmas get burnt. And that is how subtle body also disintegrates. When will the subtle body disintegrate? With knowledge. Subtle body is made up of ignorance, and ignorance born desires. From the desires we do different karmas and the results that accrue. Subtle body is made of this. With knowledge, that Sukshma Sharira disintegrates. Then there is no birth and death. Then you do not get a physical body. So population grows because of ignorance, and because of it again is a sign of ignorance. In the karmas that are done, they are becoming manifest. For this you have to understand subtle body. There is no birth and death for Atma. Na jayate mriyate va kadachit. Bhagavan says, Lord Krishna says in Gita, this is what this is the main teaching of Bhagavad Gita. He was afraid of this, that so many of my people will die. Bhagavan says, you talk big things, but you don't know anything. You are talking about big things, that I don't want to kill and mince, But you really don't know, he says. Because you are saying, Vishma Pitamaha will be born again and he will die. Atma doesn't die. Subtle body does die. Die means the subtle body also doesn't die. It leaves this physical body and gets into another body.
So Atma is with the subtle body, or
Atma is everywhere.
Oh, but so particular subtle body has the same Atma every time you born? Or?
Subtle body means nothing, but Atma's identification with ignorance. When Atma, out of avidya, ignorance, thinks that I am a human being. This is called joining of Atma with a body. Doesn't get really joined, but it looks upon himself as human being, supposing. Then finds himself wanting. Desires arise. Why? Because Atma identified with a given thing. Thinks that I'm only this much. Then desires are there. And then according to the desires you do karmas. According to your karmas you get result. That is how the journey, then you have to move from one to another to another to another. Atma doesn't go.
So, but animals, they don't have desire, right? Animals don't have desire.
Yes, they have basic desires. Desires for eating, drinking, and multiplying themselves.
They also become
No.
humans?
No, I'm coming to that. They don't have that. Their karmas are there for getting exhausted, that much. They do not do any karmas out of will. So there they come just to bring an end to certain karmas. Bhagavan gives them that body to get rid of certain karmas. Even when a tiger is killing someone, he is not doing any karma. He will not have to pay for that karma. But if I kill a tiger, I will have to pay for it. He is programmed by Ishvara. Because there is no other way for him to survive. So survival of the fittest, that is how they live. That is how it is it is the design of nature. Even when they kill and prey upon other animals, that is in order. That is in order. But if we kill, that is not in order. We will have to pay for it.
They just do it for
They are just exhausting those papa karmas. But because of papa karma, that they get that body. That is for sure.
So, but human also can get that body.
Very much. Very much. Don't think human beings will not get. Depends on how you live your life. The order is so perfect. The law of karma is so perfect that what you do, according to the cause, means according to what you do, there will be effect. There is no effect without a cause. Whatever is happening in our lives is because of a cause. It is the result of our own karmas. Our own karmas. So we may blame today Ishvara also for what he has given to us. But Ishvara says, I have not given you this, I have just facilitated the path for your karmas.
So Swamini, just to expand on Madam's question, about 7-8 years ago, the population of the world was about 6 billion. Now, somewhere around 7, a little bit more than 7 billion people in the world. So 1 billion people were expanded in last 8 or 9 years or so. Where did that 1 billion soul came from? Where were they before? I think that's what she was probably driving at.
It's nothing but Ishvara is managing. Ishvara is managing the karmas of Jiva and giving them birth and then taking them away also. This is all play of karmas according to the law of karma.
So that means, as you said earlier, the Atmas, of course, is immortal.
Atma is not being
immortal.
born.
So that means there were billion Atmas were somewhere else, or this is what manifested again.
See, understand very well. I'm again and again saying, Atma is not being born. Atma is not dying. So you cannot say that Atma, some million Atmas were somewhere else. There is just one Atma. There are not many Atmas.
So they just, okay. For one Atma, so all of these people is one Atma.
See, again. What is being born and dying is subtle body.
True.
Subtle body enters and goes. Maybe of one subtle body, that whatever karmas, according to the karmas, the subtle body entered here. Very soon the time is over, so goes elsewhere. This is all managed by Ishvara. It's a mind-boggling computer. He manages all this. But don't think that Atmas have now increased and Atmas have decreased. No. Atmas are not many or less or increased or decreased. It is just one. Let me explain to you in another way. See, there is sun up in the sky. And down below, there are many buckets. Buckets in different containers filled with water. Now tell me, now that sun is getting reflected in all the pools of water. In each and every bucket, there may be a big jar or big container. In all of them, the sun is getting reflected. Now tell me, how many suns are there?
That's true, it's only one.
Appearances of how many? In this if you count the reflections, there are many. So what is this subtle body? Subtle body is sun getting reflected in this water is subtle body. And birth is of passing of this reflection to another. Now I will tell you that bucket of water is in place of gross body. That bucket of water is in place of gross body, means this physical body. Now, the destiny of that bucket is over, supposing. So the bucket breaks. Bucket breaks. That is called the death of the body. So when the body dies, it is the death of the bucket. Bucket,
Still there.
bucket, understand. Bucket has disintegrated. What happens to this water now? In this case, the water, Bhagavan transfers this water along with the reflection of the water, reflection in the water of the sun into another bucket. Another bucket is given. Understood? And this water is transferred there. So now the reflection is also not born and it is also there is no birth of the reflection also and no death also. Mere transference, that it got transported to another bucket. You understood? So sun is one, reflections are many because the containers are many, and reflection, the nature of reflection depends upon what water, the kind of water, whether it is muddy or pure or colorful. In keeping with the condition of the water, the reflection will be. If the reflection looks very bright, sun is already bright. And if the water is muddy, reflection will also look like that. If water is pure, reflection will also be that. But sun is not bright or less bright or anything. It is what it is. Similarly, Bhagavan is what it is. Atma is what it is. But here the water is of a woman. Water is of one kind. There another kind. There another kind. So here subtle body is of one kind. There another. There another. When the body departs, when the karma of this body is over, this subtle body here, Bhagavan finds another gross body for it. How long will this continue? As long as I don't get knowledge. This is little difficult to understand. For that you have to study the Vedanta in detail. For that, little more knowledge and more exposure is required. Atma is one. Neither is Atma, population of Atma becoming more nor less. No.
Then what is moksha?
Moksha is coming to know your reality. Today, because you don't know your reality, you don't know what yourself is, you take yourself to be a human being, woman, and so many complexes, superiority, inferior, so many things are there. All this because you don't know who you really are. You are happiness, but we don't know that. I'm full, I don't know that. In the absence of this knowledge, there are bound to be desires. So, and as long as desires are there, I will be moving about from one species to another, from one place to another in this cosmos. This is not just one place. I'll be moving to fulfill my desires. My desires will keep on taking me everywhere. That is why they say, that we have gone through everything. Each and every small big body is taken. We have experienced everything. Why those kind of desires were there, even if they are not there now. But now there are different kinds of desires. We have evolved. But how long will this continue? Tell me. As long as desires are. Desires born of ignorance. Desires to become big. Desires to have happiness. Desires to have fulfillment. These are the desires which are the sign of ignorance. Desire to help someone is not sign of ignorance. Because even when I'm full, I'm there to help others. So that is not bondage. But desires born out of a sense of bondage, sense of want, sense of lack. We'll keep this going. And this will go only and only when I know that I'm full. Only when I feel full will desires not arise. How long will I keep eating? As long as the stomach is hungry. But once it is full, don't give me even a spoon of rice. No more. Why? There is no place now. Similarly, I will have no desires of any kind. Particularly, I won't feel incomplete. That is moksha. Moksha is not going somewhere. Nothing, no change. This is moksha. Bhagavan Lord Krishna says that when you are happy in him, in yourself, by yourself, as yourself, that is moksha. But not happy due to something else. Because that happiness may come, may not come. And because if I am happy because of something, that because may come and go, I don't control it. But happiness on my own. Why? Because I am happiness. I don't have to desire happiness, really. Because I am that. Knowing this, not just in words, but that is to become my conviction. That is to become my reality. That is moksha. When that happens, this is all understanding. Vedanta is addressing your brain and addressing your understanding, perception. When that happens, then where is the reason to be born again? Gone then. No birth. That doesn't mean Atma. Atma is everywhere. We take body out of compulsion. That reason is gone now.
So what happens to that
Not to that Atma. Atma is everywhere. Means everyone says I. Everybody says that I is really Atma. And that I is that I. This body is different from that body. This mind is different from another mind. The sense organs here are different from that sense organs. But what is not different? I. With that I attach this small thing. She attaches her small thing. But minus all that. Subtract all that. Then what remains is the real I, which is no she, he, it, anything. That doesn't have to go, it is everywhere. Only thing, now it is not circumscribed in a body. Say for example, it is like you don't make any ornaments out of gold. Gold is gold. You don't make any pots, assuming that pot is made out of compulsion. But it is fine as pot, as fine as clay. So consciousness, existence, happiness is there. I'm happy with that. And that is the real thing. This is moksha. Otherwise, if you go somewhere, you will come back. For sure. Going means coming.
Subtle body comes back.
But subtle body doesn't remain in moksha. There is no reason. Subtle body is nothing but the result of ignorance.
When you say Atma is everywhere, my understanding is God is different from us. Right? God is different, I'm different. That is why we look up to Him.
Again, this morning, were you there in class, first class? What did we say? That to look upon God also is different. Then only I ask something from Him. But when? This is ignorance. This is duality. In knowledge, that is what Vedanta teaches, that thou art. You are that. You are that means you are Ishvara. You are the real one. You are. So where is the question of then asking something from him? That you may ask is one thing. We don't want to see out of, this is not a question of will, I will not ask anything. It's not a matter of will. As long as I feel incomplete, I am going to ask, going to beg. So praying for something continues as long as knowledge is not there.
So you're talking about Dvaita and Advaita? They're two different philosophies, right?
Not different philosophy. Advaita is the real thing. Dvaita is a false concept, false understanding. See, you have to have more exposure
Yeah. We
to
have half
Vedanta.
knowledge. I have half knowledge, so I'm all confused.
No, that's okay. So more, that doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. But read more, expose yourself to this kind of talks more. Because as long as this is there, clarity is not there. No clarity, That won't help. So, expose yourself to all this. Read more. But here also, I will say just reading on your own doesn't help. That won't clear your doubts. So Vedanta, that is, we will talk about this tomorrow. This is going to be the subject matter tomorrow. That you have to learn from the one who knows. And learn it well. Learn it for a long time. This is a matter of learning. E is equal to mc square. I cannot come to know in one day. Not possible. It is a big equation. Very huge equation for a child. Only for a scientist and physicist, that is simple. Not for us. Similarly, this knowledge, Atma is big thing. Beyond, we are not exposed to any such things. When we talk of Atma, it goes above our heads. Who's below every... So, requires little time. Not difficult, but time and proper exposure. Definite. You definitely require little more exposure. So I would suggest attend such courses of Vedanta from the basic courses. So it will help you. These are the questions, good they arise. Then you will look for an answer. Otherwise, we will not look for an, okay, fine, it doesn't matter to me whether Atmas are many or one or it doesn't matter. We are ignorant. Ignorance is bliss sometimes. No, that's not correct. That these questions have arose shows that you are thinking. But this, you require time and proper teaching. Proper teaching is required.
So this Swamiji and they weren't born again, right? Because with their knowledge.
Yes, if knowledge is there, that won't happen. But this is not something which we can say. Only that person knows. Our Shraddha is like that for anyone. Because the person has to feel within the sense of fulfillment. You may see me fulfilled. You may see me happy. And we may be right also. But in that, a person only knows. You understand what I am saying? So yes, we get some idea from the person, from the way they conduct themselves, from the way they are. So yes, if this knowledge is there and they are abiding in this knowledge, then no birth again.
They
No
live
birth
their
for
life-
any Mahatma.
They live their life with that knowledge.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
because to know is one thing and live with that knowledge is another thing, right?
No, it comes. It comes in life. That is only knowledge. Knowledge which you don't feel is not knowledge. I may mug up everything, but that is not knowledge. That is not knowledge.
Right. So, in a lot of the Puranas and the Itihasas, there are a lot of different characters who immediately they surrender to God and then they attain moksha in that way. Or it's said, like even like Ravana, I think in some of the different Ramayanas, they say right before his death he surrendered and therefore he attained moksha. So, what is the difference, or is there a difference between this type of surrendering and something that we would call realization, or something like recognizing the self? One I interpret as more bhakti, whereas the other one is more like a deep knowledge of the self.
True. It is not complete moksha.
It is not.
It is not complete moksha. They write that they are liberated, but that is going to some lokas. Because of Bhagavan's grace, they are pardoned, yes. And their hearts have become pure. That also happens. With the surrender, all that will happen. Now you will be receiving Ishvara's grace because you have stopped doing, because now you realized your mistake, you saw your papas and all that. But that is not equivalent to the moksha that we are talking about, which comes as a result of knowledge. What is moksha according to what I just said? Feeling happy, not because of something. Discovering happiness in yourself, as yourself. My cup is full, whether I have things around me or not. Whether, regardless of what I am surrounded by, regardless of what is, my happiness is not disturbed. No more you feel wanting. Even if there are bigger people than you, smarter than you, knowledgeable than you, okay, they are great. That's okay. As far as the personality is concerned, one personality and other personality are different. But as far as Atma is concerned, it is just one. Sun, when it looks at all the reflections, does it feel, oh, here I am small, here I am big? Does it have any complex? It enjoys all the reflections. Sun in the sky, looking at all the reflections, will enjoy that these are my reflections. But the same sun, if it forgets that I am the sun, and if the same sun in the sky takes itself to be the reflection, then what will happen? If it forgets who he is, forgetting means if it forgets that I am all these reflections, if the sun forgets this, somehow this happens, then what will the sun feel? He will identify with one reflection and will think, I'm small. He will look at the other reflection and feel, oh, he is so big. I'm so small. So now let me become big. Who is thinking like this? Sun, looking at the reflection. Because it identified with this, forgot who I am. Understood? Then there are problems. Then samsara begins. But if the sun is aware of what he is, where he is, then what will be his understanding while looking at all the reflections? What will be? Tell me.
Not sure.
What will he think? Sun, what will he think? looking at all the reflections. If he knows that he is sun and these are his reflections, then okay, fine. That is knowledge. Why I am telling this is that is knowledge. That is knowledge. But if he forgets, then gone. Even though he is there, he is no more in a position to enjoy. I'll give you another example. In Ahmedbabad, we have a zoo called Kankaria Zoo. There is a big lake and there is a zoo around it. And there are different things in that zoo. It's a big thing, big park kind of thing. In one of the rooms, there are many mirrors. So many different kinds of mirrors with different surfaces, So in one, you look very tall. Very tall you will look. In another mirror, which will be beside that, you look very short, like a pygmy. In another, you look very fat. Another, you very disfigured, you look. Now, a child is standing there. The child can make the mistake. Looking at that fat fellow, he may think, oh, mama, I have put on weight. Looking at other one, he may cry also. But the person whose senses are in right places, he will enjoy all this reflection. Who is getting reflected? Who is getting reflected in those mirrors? The person only. But because of this surface being different in each mirror, I look different. I look different. I appear different, but I am not. The person remains what he is. There it is merely reflection. Similarly, in this world, I see my reflections. The surfaces are different. So I look different. If this clarity is there, who is getting reflected in all the mirrors? This one person standing in the center. Similarly, in all these different mirrors, supposing all these are different mirrors, one Atma is getting reflected. Understood? This clarity is knowledge.
So what is the difference between Paramatma and Atma?
Paramatma is the creator. There is no difference. Yes, as far as he is concerned, he has all the knowledge and he governs the world. But that is a big costume. Just as I wear a small costume, he wears a big costume in the form of macrocosm. This entire world is his costume. See, that is Ishvara. And Jiva, individual, is the one who has this small costume. But inside, who is there? In this one also and in that one also. Who is there? One Ishvara. One consciousness. Consciousness with bigger costume is called? Tell me. Paramatma. Smaller costume is called Jiva. Still smaller insect. Still smaller, different, depends upon the kind of costume. But the wearer is the same. Costumes are different. This entire cosmos is a costume. Again, you will have to work with this. I'm just throwing ideas which need lot of thinking.
Some people say there is no God or no Bhagwan, But the
Tell him to prove it.
cosmos,
Just tell him to prove that.
The whole cosmos, as you are saying, that's that Paramatma or God or whatever, creator, whatever you name it. That's what it is.
He'll ask the same question. You prove that there is a God.
Ishvara cannot be proven nor can be non-proven. You cannot prove Ishvara. Similarly, you cannot disprove it.
Some people have visions.
What vision?
Like Krishna, they
No, in Tirupati, they have visions.
They have vision. But how will they verify that with you? That is their
They
vision.
cannot verify it.
Yes.
So only the people who experience have,
True.
have seen.
But how will they argue with the person who thinks there is no Ishvara? He will say, show that Ishvara to me, then only I will believe. Ishvara is not a plaything that just because of your ego and insistence, okay, I will come so that you believe in me. So understand this very well. He cannot be shown, nor can you prove that he is not there. So if somebody is challenging that Ishvara is not there, okay, fine, prove it. You run this creation one day. You run it. Let them do it. So these are not, matters of arguing. These are not things for arguing and for proving and not proving. These matters are of not that type. With a humble mind, we have to understand. We have to try to understand. Because Ishvara and Atma in these things cannot be shown. At the same time, when you are ready, you just come to know.
That's realization.
Hmm?
That's realization.
Yeah. First of all, we have to be ready. Ready in the sense purity.
Patrata.
Patrata. Patrata. Deserve it. First, deserve it. Deserving means your heart should be pure, actions should be pure, thinking should be pure. All this goes along with that. Don't think this is just, academic. It's not academics. You may get degrees by that. But you are nowhere near Ishvara. Nowhere. And a simple person who may not know anything of the world, simpleton he may be, highly evolved he may be, highly evolved. We see, what will this fellow know? Doesn't know how to talk, walk, but he is with Ishvara. He is having what you don't have and cannot have. No? So, have that humility. Have that. Build upon this. Bring about that purity, character, good conduct, worship. There should be worship. You are talking about Ishvara. How close are you to him? How close? Do you have him in your life? How is he going to come before you? What are you doing for him?
Attending the service.
No, I'm not telling you. I'm not telling, this is nothing personal. Nobody is targeted here. Far from that. You all are highly punyashali atmas that you have come here. This is not to anyone, much less to this group. No way. But I'm just telling you that Ishvara is not some Tom, Dick and Harry. That he will just come in our lives like that.
પૈસા કમાવા કેટલી મહેનત કરવી પડે તો
Then Ishvara, so we should have bhakti in life, his name japa, some of these things we have. I'm talking to third, just in general I'm saying. When all those things which are, which are proven, Mahatmas have had all these things in their lives. Bhakti is there, Nama Japa is there, Shubha Karma is there, Puja is there, Tapas is there. Then you say, if you talk something fine about disproving and proving Ishvara, but otherwise where?
But if
We
you
have
don't-
no,
if you
that
don't
would be
do-
audacious to
If you don't do any of those things and you just always
Still-
be happy, like you said, then
you
that's
cannot be happy. Cannot be happy. Really,
doing
happiness
all
cannot
this.
be there.
without doing all
See,
this.
happiness are also of different kinds. Sattvic happiness is one, Rajasic happiness is one, Tamasic happiness is of third. Ravan also thought he is very happy. But what, from where did he get his happiness? Killing people, snatching away others' wives, looting, plundering, and they think they are happy. But that is going to embroil them more into all this. And that happiness is not lasting. What happiness do you get by hurting others? No way. No way. From Rajas means too much of ambition, too much of selfishness. Selfishness is at the core of Rajas. What happiness do you derive? You are alone at the top. Nobody is there with you. Because in your life you have not given importance to anyone.
I have a question on Vedanta, Vedas. What's the difference between the four Vedas? What's the difference between the four Vedas we have?
We have four Vedas are actually, they were one only. Rig Veda, they have different kind of subjects as far as the Karma Kanda is concerned. See, we talked about all this in the first lecture. All this was in great detail talked about in the first lecture. You can go into that, into YouTube. Vedas, Veda Vyasji came and classified them, divided them into four. Otherwise, this one body of knowledge. In one section you will find mantras, in another section Brahmanas, in another section worship, in another section Upanishad. That is where. And according to the rituals and all that, they were divided into four and named as Rigveda, Samaveda, Atharvaveda, Yajurveda. Just as Samaveda is something you can sing. There you can sing it. So it is more musical. Samaveda, mainly the first part, is musical. Rigveda also is full of mantras. Yajurveda has many subjects. See, as far as Upanishads found in the Vedas are same. Knowledge part is same. But in the Karma Kanda section, Aranyaka section, different kind of upasanas, worships are given. Different upasanas. With certain upasanas, you get certain powers also. Some siddhis also you get. So many things are there.
Which part is that one? Powers, getting powers?
So many upasanas, different upasanas that you have to look into that. I have not looked into all this.
And in which Veda is it there? Yajur or
Yajurveda.
Yajurveda or Rigveda?
In all the Vedas you will find all this. There are different, upasanas are there in the first section. In the Karma Kanda section, Aranyaka section, you will find different upasanas. You will find rituals. You will find know-how of how to do. Different ends, different means for that. All this is found in Vedas. All this is there. So, any other questions? Otherwise, we will end.
When it comes to Atma, the Devi Devatas are like the pure reflection of the God or like a bigger costume. That's
Yeah,
how it is.
we can say that they have a purer, they are more evolved. You can say. Definitely more evolved than us, than human beings.
So I think, at least from what I have found in the Advaita philosophy, like many spiritual leaders, obviously they place the Upanishads as the top sort of like scriptures that you should.
Little slow. Speak little slow.
Oh, sorry.
I find it sometimes difficult to catch your words.
Sorry. So at least from my experience, many like Swamijis who follow the Advaita philosophy, they place the Upanishads at the very top of, above all other literature, and they sort of place things like the Puranas below this because there are many different, like one Purana will contradict another one, and because of that they sort of say, oh, this may or may not have happened, and you should only focus on the Upanishads. I guess my question is, what is there, past the basic morals that you can gain from Puranas, is there any use to someone who is following the Advaita philosophy from these Puranas that they can gain?
So what is your question?
So is there any spiritual use for the Puranas?
Yes, definitely. See, now let me tell you. See, Puranas have not come out from Ishvara. The way Vedas have come about. Vedas, as we talked in the first day, they are not created by Ishvara, not written by Ishvara. They have come out. They have come out. That is not the place Puranas enjoy. Puranas are composed. They are written. They have come out from the minds of the sages. So they are called Smruti Granthas. This is Shruti, heard by sages. No human intellect is not there in all this, in Vedas. But as far as Smruti is concerned, see, everybody has no access to Vedas. Everybody has definitely no access to Upanishads. But even in Karma Kanda, everybody has no access. So, sages, out of their kindness, so that everybody can follow and relate to it, they wrote all these Puranas. Puranas they are anecdotes and life sketches of different devatas, different deities, small big deities. And in that everybody comes. Krishna comes, Lord Rama comes, Vishnu comes, Shiva Purana is there, Vishnu Purana is there, Garuda Purana. All these are written so that even people who are not possessing that kind of sharp intellect can also relate. And this Puranas give life sketches of this Ishvaras, small Ram, Krishna, Vishnu, Shiva, everyone. So many different Puranas are there. So there are stories about them. But you learn a lot from them. In between, you will find mantras like Upanishads also. In Puranas also you find that kind of, because sages were not ordinary. They themselves had exalted minds and experiences. So from them this is coming. Say Veda Vyasji has written, it is said that Veda Vyasji only has composed all these 18 Puranas. It is said they are attributed to him. Srimad Bhagavat Purana, he has written. And it is nothing but life of Vishnu, life of all the avatars. All the avatars of Vishnu have found place in Srimad Bhagavatam. But why is it written? So that we develop bhakti for Krishna. When you know about the greatness of someone, then automatically you have value for that. Love will arise in you. Bhakti will arise in you. That is why Bhagavatam is written. Because Naradji came and told him that you have written all the big things, that they are of no use to simple people. Layman, for them, layman has no entry into all this. Write something for the entire society. So he wrote all this. And yes, when you read it, not ordinary things. For us, even that is not ordinary. Something happens to you. When you read Puranas, you enjoy it. Provided you have that kind of, some may find it boring also. What is all this Bhagavatam, all the time about Vishnu and all. People may throw it away. Too much of, those who are highly intelligent people sometimes don't value all this. But this is the one which will mellow you, which will soften you. That beautiful, as in the soft soft intelligence, soft skills. That way, Bhagavatam and Puranas have different things in them.
So
If you read, wait a minute, if you read, definitely your heart will mellow. Some bhakti is bound to arise. People spend their time, in supposing it is Shravan, month of Shravan. You know that? They that time read Shiva Purana. And when there is that, what do you call? Purushottam month, every 4 years it comes. That time back in India, people just read Bhagavat. There are so many kathas. In Navratri, they read Devi Purana. Keep on reading. And these people they just, for them, purity is very easily gained. Because they are simple. Bhakti arises and that crosses them. So Puranas, yes, not in the level of Upanishads, but definitely helpful.
Okay.
And in our own mind, all the time, we are not ready for the listening of Vedanta. Sometimes we will know, not Vedanta now. It is headache at this moment. So Upanishads are better you learn in the morning. When the mind is fresh, bright, sattvic, then as the day proceeds, we become more rajasic and at night tamasic. This thing don't touch us. So everything is needed. Understand, a mind needs everything. Some bhajan is also required. Some japa is also required. Some puja is also required. Don't just think I'm just meant for Vedanta. You don't know what you are missing. Sometimes people are too proud. In the name of Vedanta, they have maybe they are missing something. They don't know this many times. So, even if we call it inferior, it is not inferior. Of course, Vedas are exalted. Upanishads are exalted, no doubt about it. It's already 9. Shall we? Om Purnamataః Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.